Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Welcome in! Hunt Palmer coming to you from the Raising Cane studio downtown in the capital city on this chilly Monday. Hope your work week's off to a good start. Hope you are working. A lot of folks trapped inside with the kiddos. I played that game this morning. Now the wife's taking over so I can come in and talk about some sports for a couple of hours. No matter how you're taking us in, we appreciate you making us part of your day. And we've got a lot to get to. LSU basketball loses on Saturday. Senior Bowl week over in Mobile. What are the Saints looking at? Ross Jackson's been all over that for us at LouisianaSports.net. And, of course, our morning show will be there all week. Matt and Jake there from 7 to 10 every single weekday morning this week. It's a big week for Garrett Nussmeier. I want to talk about that as well. Got to recap the NFL championship games from yesterday. Some good football, some questionable football last night, but we'll talk about it in the second hour. And I've also got some LSU baseball thoughts. Got a story on the LSU baseball team up at LouisianaSports.net right now. I got Braxton Rizzuto and Cassie Pizzali back there on the ones and twos. Let's crank it up the way we do every day with our opening drive.
Welcome to the big league.
It's time for Hunt's Opening Drive. Presented by Fabry Chevrolet GMC in St. Francisville.
You know, it's journalism school. We took some public relations classes, and generally speaking, if you want someone to make real news, you release that in the morning at a midweek press conference. If you want to bury something, throw it on Friday afternoon. It'll get lost. Well, that's when Jordan Seaton committed to LSU. It was Friday evening when the big Colorado offensive tackles commitment was made public. And look, I'll be honest, in saying what I just said there, like as I was putting together the show rundown today, I forgot about it. Like I was looking at the basketball, I was looking at the NFL, I was looking at Senior Bowl for this week. I forgot about Jordan Seaton because it was Friday night, and it feels like that was an eternity ago. But it's a big deal, so we're leading with it. And it's something we talked about all last week. This would be such a huge piece to LSU's puzzle if they could land a proven left tackle. Because if you don't land Jordan Seaton, you're going to have to play someone at left tackle who has not proven himself to be that at this level. That's just the reality. Doesn't mean you don't have one, but it means you don't have a proven one. And in this sense, you get maybe the proven one. And all the other dominoes on the offensive front fall into place. That's how important Jordan Seaton was to this LSU class and to the 2026 LSU roster. If you look at his pedigree, it's as good as it gets. Top 5 player in the nation coming out of high school, consensus 5-star recruit. Georgia wanted him, Bama wanted him, Ohio State wanted him, Clemson wanted him. He ends up in Colorado. And from day one, like Will Campbell at LSU, from day one, he's Colorado's left tackle. Now, if you look at his bio on Colorado's website, it says in his sophomore year, he did not allow a sack. Pro Football Focus dinged him for 1 or 2. But in any event, he has not allowed a lot of pressures from the offensive left side. His Pro Football pass protection grades are better than Will Campbell's at LSU. Same way as Will Campbell in Baton Rouge, his run blocking grades on PFF are not through the roof. But in terms of protecting the passer, he's as good as there is in college football. And now he's on LSU's offensive line. And so now, as you take an all-conference, all-American level player, first-round pick, and put him at left tackle, and then you look over at center where you've got an all-conference level player in Braylon Moore, the two most impactful positions on your offensive line are being manned by all-conference level players. That is massive. And then you've got to fill in the rest. I would suggest there will be a competition at right tackle. Weston Davis is back. We know he had a lot of struggles last year as a redshirt freshman. He made some strides later in the year, especially in pass protection. He's got every physical gift you could possibly ask. He's 6'7". He's a high school basketball player. He's strong. He can move. Can he be developed a little bit more better? More better. That's nicely said. Can he be developed better than he was in his first 2 years at LSU? You hope so. But if he's not the guy, maybe Sean Tompkins can play out there. You brought in Darren Stray, who was a 4-star recruit that Kentucky signed. He's 6'7", got long arms. So you have a competition there between 3 guys. You feel like Aliou Ba from Maryland's going to be one of your guards. And I think Devin Harper has got a real chance to be one of your guards. He was going to be a starting tackle at Ole Miss, by all accounts, this coming fall. But any way you slice it, you've now got probably, as I look through it, I'll just go through it. I'll just go left to right, hypothetically, on an offensive line. Jordan Seaton at left tackle, Aliou Ba at left guard, Braylon Moore at center, Devin Harper at right guard, and Weston Davis at right tackle. That didn't account for Sean Tompkins, who started at Baylor. That doesn't account for the Bordelon brothers. That doesn't account for William Satterwhite, who you brought in probably as your reserve center. You've got Darren Stray, who's probably a reserve at tackle. Solomon Thomas was a 5-star. Maybe he gets into the mix in his second year now that he's back from that injury that cost him all of fall camp. You're a freshman, you miss all of fall camp, you're toast. And he did. He missed all of fall camp. But that's 5 up front, 8. That's 11 guys right there that are not true freshmen. 11 guys. And I think your talent level across the board on the starting spots is great. I believe LSU's offensive line went from a crisis when everybody left to a question mark as you started to fill in with some transfers, but you started with an FCS player and you added a junior college transfer, and okay, I still have significant questions here. Now you've gone from crisis to question to strength. I believe the offensive line will be a strength on this team. You have a strength at center, you have a strength at left tackle, and you have proven Power 4 level players that have transferred in. And then I just think Devin Harper is going to be a really good player, even though he's not proven. I believe you have gone to a strength on this team by adding Jordan Seaton. Now, if you had to get creative at left tackle and do that with Devin Harper or do that with Tompkins, maybe you do that with Solomon Thomas, like that's a question. Seaton erases the question. And now you start to fill guys in, and it makes a lot more sense. I was thinking about this as I was going over the offensive line. If y'all have listened to Charles Hannegriff over the years talk about LSU baseball, and this will be a bit of a deep cut for some of you. Some of you will get it immediately, but some of them you may not remember this. But Blake Gill was a player in the Smoke LaValle era here at LSU. And Hanny's line, which I enjoyed, was like, if Blake Gill plays second base and hits 7th, you got a really good baseball team. If Blake Gill plays shortstop and hits 3rd, that's a problem. Like, you're asking someone to do something that he probably shouldn't be asked to do. And that's what you were probably going to be asking of left tackle for someone. But, like, let's use Devin Harper. If Devin Harper's your starting left tackle, that's a bit of a question mark. If he's your backup right guard or starting right guard, that's a little bit more doable. And that's what the addition of Jordan Seaton does. It puts the alpha on the edge of the offensive line, and it allows you to fill in the places the rest of the way. I'm never going to fully understand what happened to LSU's offensive line the last 2 years. I'm never going to get the answer for that. I don't know if it was the scheme. I don't know if it was the play calling. I don't know if it was the talent evaluation. I don't know if it was the development. It was probably some of all of that. But whatever it was is gone because the coach is gone, the offensive coordinator is gone, and all the players except Braylon Moore and Weston Davis are gone. So whatever issues they had, and they were significant over the last 2 years, even with all those NFL guys, they couldn't run the ball. Whatever the issues were, they're gone. You got a fresh start, a fresh slate, and you've got a lot of talent that you've brought in. And Seaton is just, he's the pillar here. Because even though Braylon Moore's a really good player, he was on last year's offensive line. Like, you didn't have enough at the other spots. Now you do. And now Lane Kiffin's offense that brought in the number 1 transfer quarterback, that brought in 12 wide receivers, that has real talent at running back, that has a freak of a tight end, and all of this fun on the outside that they want to have, but none of it works without an offensive line. None of it. You can't do anything. LSU had playmakers last year. They had a 4,000-yard passer under center this past year, and nothing worked because they couldn't do anything on the offensive line. That should change in 2026. I believe LSU's offensive line is now a strength on this team moving forward. And with that offensive coordinator and that head coach and the talent that they've amassed to handle the football, it could be a really, really good offense. Every offense that Lane Kiffin coached at Ole Miss is in the top 6 of the SEC, and the last 3 of them were in the top 3. Ole Miss led the SEC in total offense the last 2 seasons. That's what's coming in here. And you needed to shore up the offensive line, and they did it. And hat tip to Lane Kiffin for getting that visit, for keeping Jordan Seaton on that visit for 2 days, for hopping on a plane and going to Atlanta. There are a lot of people around college football that do not like Lane Kiffin. I understand. LSU fans will now defend everything he does, and I understand. But what you cannot do is criticize his effort in recruiting. He's hitting up every every New Orleans high school over the weekend. He's flying to Knoxville to see Sam Leavitt. He's flying to Atlanta to see Jordan Seaton. You may have questioned the hustle and the work ethic of the last head coach at LSU football. That is no longer a question. You've got a guy that's hustling, that's hungry, and the results are showing. He hadn't won a single game yet. His schedule's pretty tough. But what he did in this transfer class is pretty salty. And the finishing touch on that was getting Seaton to fortify that offensive line. Now they're ready to go score some points, and they're going to score a lot of points. That's our opening drive here on this Monday. Step aside. We'll take a timeout. Come back. LSU basketball lost over the weekend. I wrote a column about what we're seeing right now, and I think it's pretty evident. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Lifetime Roofing. You can find them online at lifetimeroofingla.com. They're so happy to be able to offer, and so proud to be able to offer a lifetime workmanship warranty on their work. Lifetime workmanship warranty on their work. Go to lifetimeroofingla.com. Put in that contact information. Have them call you. Let them tell you about their lifetime workmanship warranty. It's just not something you see, and they're willing to offer it at Lifetime Roofing. They also have financing options. Big roof can be a sizable chunk of change. But if you need financing, they've got it. And they can do 0% for 18 months if you qualify. You may just be paying a deductible on that new roof. And if that's the case, and it's sizable, you have a 2% big home, you'd like to finance that, you can do that as well. They're happy to help you. They've got a team there that's ready to help you finance that deductible, finance that roof. It's Lifetime Roofing. They're based here in Baton Rouge. They can service you statewide, even over into Houston. Obviously, there's been a lot of damage throughout the state. If you feel like you need your roof inspected, go to lifetimeroofingla.com and reach out. That's lifetimeroofingla.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgu.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google. Based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates, we know this, and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000. or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information and to find a propane dealer near you, visit louisianapropane.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environment.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
So, LSU basketball lost on Saturday. Not shocking. I sat here on Friday and said they will lose. And they almost didn't lose. They played well offensively. They scored 81 points, shot 46% from the floor, got to the free throw line, went 22 of 25 from the free throw line. They only turned it over 9 times. They won the glass by 8, 36-28. Got 13 offensive rebounds. De'Don Thomas kind of found his groove again, played well, scored 18 points, dished out 5 assists. But none of that matters. None of it. Because this team is terrible on defense. Terrible on defense. I noticed the first game I went to this year was the season opener. And the stat that jumped off the page was not LSU defensively and the other team's field goal percentage. It was Tarleton State. It was the first game they played. It was the fact that they kept getting beat off the dribble and had to come over and help. And that's why, even though they were contesting shots at the rim and forcing a terrible Tarleton State team to miss, Tarleton State was getting rebounds because the help defenders couldn't rebound. All that to say, I saw some cracks in the defensive armor in November. But their offense was good then and is good now. They are good on offense. They are a good offensive team. With De'Don Thomas on the floor, they're good on offense. I know that the non-conference schedule was not great, but still, you nationally are in the top 30 in offensive efficiency and shooting percentage. In SEC play, you're averaging 72 points per game. That's enough to win. You scored over 80 in this game against Arkansas on the road. Max McKinnon scoring 17 points per game in SEC play. Markel Sutton had a huge day a week ago. Pablo Tama did not miss a shot from the floor on Saturday. They're good on offense. They're awful on defense. Y'all watch college basketball every year, right? Nobody ever scores 100, right? You don't see 100-point games. Shot makers in college aren't great. It's only a 40-minute game. Nobody scores 100. But LSU this year routinely gives up 50.5 all the time. Not one time, all the time. It's happened 6 times in the last 12 games. Half the time LSU goes out there, they give up a 50-point half. Did it again on Saturday. Arkansas, 52 points after halftime. Go back to Texas Tech. They just ripped the nets. They made 8 of their first 9 threes in the first half, and they blew by 50. Prairie View A&M came out there 10 days later and just couldn't miss. They made 12 threes in the first half and scored 56 points in the first half. By the way, the Prairie View A&M Panthers are 202nd nationally in three-point shooting. They scored 90 in that game against LSU. South Carolina, not a very good basketball team. Scored 50 in the first half in the PMAC. Elijah Strong, career high in that game. Went up to Nashville, Vanderbilt, who's fallen flat since they played LSU. 52 points before halftime against LSU's defense. 4 days later, you actually showed up on defense against Kentucky, held them to 22 before halftime. How many did they get after halftime? 53. 53 after halftime. You had an 18-point lead in that game, couldn't hold it. Like, they're just atrocious on defense. In that game on Saturday, Arkansas finished 11 for its last 12 from the floor. 11 for 12. Does LSU get into a full court defense? No. Do they switch to a zone? No. They sent some traps. They tried to get the ball out of Acuff's hands, but he's going to be a top 10 pick in the next draft, and he went 13 from 19 from the floor, and he scored 31 points. But it's Acuff in this game. It's Strong in the South Carolina game. It's the two guard from Texas Tech who might be the Big 12 Player of the Year. Like, you can't guard them. They just don't have anyone to guard them. And this is the first year that Matt McMahon has had an equitable go at it. Like, his first season, no shot, NCAA, breathing down your neck, the whole roster left, whatever. The next year, fine, they went 500. Last year, you were the Oakland A's trying to beat the Dodgers. Like, you had no money invested. Everybody else was spending $8 or $9 or $10 million, and LSU was at 1.5 or 2, and you have no shot. No shot. This year, he had a shot. He had a shot. They invested. He went out. He got guys he wanted. He put together a good offensive basketball team. Then they get to the other side of the floor, and they're atrocious. Can't stop guys off the dribble. Can't stop close out on a three. Can't stop big men from scoring. Can't stop hot shooters from scoring. It's 50 points and a half once a week. And that's awful. That's an awful, awful effort. I said this last week, and I believe it to be true as well now. Like, LSU's quality of play this year is significantly better overall than it was last year. It's significantly better. I know this is not what y'all want to hear, but it doesn't make it any less true. Like, SMU is holding their own in the ACC. They've got a winning record in the ACC. They beat North Carolina. LSU dusted them. DePaul is holding its own in the Big East. They've got a winning record in their league. LSU wiped the floor with them. 3 of the top 4 teams in the Southeastern Conference standings right now are Kentucky and Arkansas and Texas A&M. LSU went to College Station and was in a one-possession game with a minute to go. LSU played Kentucky in Baton Rouge and had an 18-point lead in the second half. And LSU went to Fayetteville and had a lead for the majority of this game. LSU has played some of the best teams in the SEC. No, they got crushed by Florida. The South Carolina effort was atrocious. Vanderbilt killed them. But 3 of the top 4 teams in the standings, they played straight up. And they didn't do that at all last year. Last year, they got destroyed just about every time out. Their quality of play is reasonable. But they don't make plays down the stretch to win. They can't defend, and they're not good enough. They're just not good enough. So I told you last week that they were going to go lose both those games on the road, and they did. And now you come back and you have to go 2-0 this week. If you don't go 2-0 this week, it's over. The math doesn't work out with what you've got left to make this thing interesting. Like 98% of LSU fans are on to the next with basketball. And I can't possibly argue against that. I wouldn't even try to argue against that. I'm giving you my opinion, though, on this team. They're probably somewhere in the neighborhood of the 13th best SEC team. And despite what their quality of play may be, which I think it's significantly better than last year, that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the scoreboard. It's a zero-sum game. It doesn't matter how you play. It matters what the result is. The result is 1-6. That's what the result is. And losing DJ Thomas is a tough blow. It does not mean you need to give up 50 points in a half routinely because he's not out there. Those two, he's not a great defender. You probably get better on defense with him off the floor and Rashad King on it. Probably. And you still give up 50-point halves. They're not done winning games. They'll win a couple games. They're going to win at least one this week, but they have to win 2. Win 2, we'll talk about it. But right now, you're on the brink. And that was always going to happen when you got dog-walked by a bad South Carolina team on your own floor and you couldn't hold an 18-point lead against Kentucky and then a lead with 1.7 seconds on the clock. There are elements of bad luck in this thing. The Thomas injury is bad luck. Kentucky couldn't pull that shot off again if you gave them 10 looks at it. And both those things happened, and you are where you are. But your defense is the reason that you're not winning games. You cannot just allow teams to go bananas from the three-point line. And a lot of people are pointing to the free throw statistic from Saturday, and I get that. Arkansas missed 11 free throws. They were 7 for 18, and they still beat you by 4 points. They shot 39% on free throws. If they shoot 69% on free throws, you lose by 8 or 9. But they did. You shot 3 of 15 from 3. Bad days shooting happen. But the consistent on this team is they cannot defend. And it just, you're in a track meet and you're losing. So it's a bummer. I had real optimism for this team in November and December. I really did. And you can call that foolish. I can't argue against that either. Maybe I'm the fool. Just put the dunce cap right on my head. I'm comfortable wearing it. Probably ought to wear it more often. But I liked the offense, and I just didn't think they would be this inept on defense. And it's hurt them really, really bad, obviously. And so they'll play Mississippi State and South Carolina this week. Neither one of those teams is good. Neither one of them is good. This is a spot where you can get things moving. I don't know if I would say the right direction, but you got to do it because you're up against the wall now at 1-6 in the league. You got to finish 7-4 to have a chance to make something interesting at the beginning of March. It's a tall climb. We'll see. All right, that's Hoops Talk for today. We'll put that on the shelf, and we'll get back into some football and baseball the rest of the way. Still plenty to do over the next 90 minutes. No guests today, just me hanging out. I want to talk about Garrett Nussmeier and the Senior Bowl. I want to talk about the NFL weekend that was. I've got some thoughts on baseball as well. Jay Johnson and some players met with the media back on Friday. I've got some stuff up on the website, LouisianaSports.net. If you're jonesing for some baseball content, it is certainly there. And we'll get into all that as we continue to move forward on this Monday here on the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Highland Insurance Group, HighlandIG.com. Obviously, this has been a tough week for the state of Louisiana, specifically central and northern Louisiana. If you've had an issue and you feel like now you're looking around going, that insurance policy is not what it needs to be, is it? That's the worst spot to be in, to feel like you've paid the premium and you didn't understand exactly what it was you were buying, and now you're paying for it. That's not going to happen to you if you've got a trusted broker in your corner like the Highland Insurance Group. Get out in front of these things because you don't know when that hailstorm's coming. You don't know when that ice storm's coming. You don't know when the car accident's coming or the hurricane's coming or the lawsuit is coming. Your employee clicks the wrong email. You just don't know when that's coming. You've got to be proactive in preparing your business for that situation. The Highland Insurance Group specializes in that. They've got a team of experts on the insurance side that will make sure that you're covered. So reach out to them now, HighlandIG.com. Make sure that when the next issue arises, that you are comfortable and that you have peace of mind to know that you're insured. It's the Highland Insurance Group. You can find them online, HighlandIG.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm lawyer Collins Locke Meredith. Among the most important factors to consider when you're hiring an injury attorney is trust. You trust your attorney will put your interest first, treat you with respect, fairness, and honesty. You trust them to be there for you when you need them. At Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates, thousands of clients have trusted us to represent them, and for good reasons. Please visit us at LockeMeredith.com to learn more, and whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even J.B. could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of J.B. Falgout.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. Propane water heaters are very cost efficient, and the savings are even greater with a tankless propane water heater. We all know that Louisiana propane is a safe and environmentally friendly fuel. So why not go green while you save some green? I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and for more information, visit louisianapropane.com.
Today, we are shaping tomorrow.
We are researching how extreme stress impacts the immune system, from trauma victims to athletes and even astronauts.
Our work is leading the way in sepsis treatment, saving countless lives.
We're unlocking the mind with music in exciting new ways.
Our Lady of the Lake Health and LSU are improving the health of our state.
That's the impact of champions.
Imagine the impact we'll have on the future. Together, we roar.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle it.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Well, got a bit of a life-changing text that I just got. So for 10 months, we've been able to put Keller just sitting there, and he'll just sit. He's crawling. So now we have a mobile child. That's gonna change things up a bit in the Palmer house. Went through this 4 years ago with the Myers man, but Keller had been immobile. That's as long as you can go, 10 months. This kid hasn't hit any milestones because I don't think we've quite worked with him as aggressively as the first one. That's just kind of how second kid goes, I guess. We got a good run out of just being able to plop him on the floor and leave him for a while, but those days are over as he's very mobile. I just got a video of him crawling like 8-10 feet to go get a ball. So now we've got to watch him all the time, which is, I guess, very, very good, but I understand what I've just lost. So let's talk about the Saints. Senior Bowl over in Mobile. Obviously, our guys, Jake Hester, Matt Flynn, broadcasting all week from there. I know how much Jake looks forward to this week every year. I'm curious to hear Flynn's report as it's his first time in a media setting to be there. Those guys just get to talk to guys all week, and certainly they love going out and watching practice as well. And they get a really good look at a lot of these guys, and then you turn on the TV on Sundays, and here they are. But from a Saints perspective, I talked about this a couple of weeks ago. It's a league that does everything possible to create parity, and they really do a great job of it. I feel like there's not an NFL franchise that does not have the ability to compete. Now, the Browns never do, and the Jets never do, but they've got the ability. The rules indicate they could get it done. And so whenever you can get a bit of a leg up, I think you try to take that. And I think it's a big deal for the Saints that, one, Mobile is so close to New Orleans that they can get over there in numbers with their staff. And then when you consider that their running back coach, Joel Thomas, is going to be the head coach for the American team, maybe there's an advantage there. We understand that the Saints front office does put a lot of work into the Senior Bowl. They drafted 5 players from the Senior Bowl last year. One of them is their starting quarterback, Tyler Shuck. And Joel Thomas met with the guys this morning on off the bench, talked to them for about 15 minutes, and you can go listen to that on demand. But they talked about what they're looking for. And his answer, I thought, was really revealing, and I think shows a significant focus for the organization this week at the Senior Bowl. The quote, and it's on a story on LouisianaSports.net that Ross Jackson wrote, says, "We're trying to find the DNA, the right fit Obviously, the athletic talents, that's the stuff we watch on film and evaluate, but you don't get that all the time on film as far as the grit, the pit bull mentality. Do they love football? We've all been around guys that are great at football. They like football. We've got to find the ones that love it. They're willing to do everything they can possibly do to help us win games and make the Saints better. And if we can come away from this evaluation and 5 guys that are going to make us better, we win. And this is a great setting to do that. I've talked to Jake and T-Bob about this at length over the course of the years that they've been going down to the Senior Bowl, and it's a grind. It's a week-long grind. Jake has said many times, these are the most intense practices you will ever undergo because everyone is out there fighting for his football life on every rep. Like, you don't get as many reps as you might if you're a first-teamer at LSU or you're a first-teamer at Tulane or you're a first-teamer at Texas. Like, you're going to get a lot of those reps in practice. At the Senior Bowl, it might be limited, and everyone has got scouts' eyes on it. And any single rep that you put forward, you could catch somebody's eye and change your football life forever. And all the players that are there know that. And so there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of work, and you can tell who shows up ready to go. You can tell whose mental drive is what it needs to be. And these are the kind of guys you want to bring into your facility to help with the culture. I can't help but think back to the purge that the Saints made with Junior Gillette and with that first-round wide receiver they shipped off to Miami. They realized that they had some bad eggs in the locker room in the middle of the Sean Payton era, and they got rid of them. You weeded them out. Well, this is a chance at the Senior Bowl when you've got one of your on-staff coaches in the trenches with these guys, being the head coach of the American team. You might pick up on some things as far as the way guys carry themselves that could be impactful. And I don't mean to be hyperbolic here. I really don't. But what the Saints are to do in this draft, round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what they do in this draft is franchise altering. It just is. Because you are in this tiny window where Shuck is making like $2 million. That is essentially the same as saving $40 million. Like, that's what that is. And what you do with those savings in the draft and in some free agency changes the course of this franchise's trajectory. And if you can find 2 guys at this Senior Bowl where your running backs coach is one of the head coaches, where your organization can literally drive to Mobile. Seattle doesn't quite have that. They got some more things on their plate than the Senior Bowl, but San Francisco can't drive. Ravens, bit of a hike. Like, you can take as many people as you want right down the road, and if you can find 2 guys, it could be difference-making. 2 guys that you find in the 3rd or 4th round that you don't have to spend free agent dollars on because you picked up something in Mobile. I think that's a huge deal. You may think that's hyperbolic. I don't. And I think it's a great mindset that you got on the record, on the air from our morning show today saying, yeah, we're going to evaluate the tape on these guys for the athletic ability. I want to know what you're about. I want to know who you are. And some of it's like when you meet with the teams, and this is coming from Joel Thomas, it's like 20 minutes. The Senior Bowl is there. The teams are there. You meet with players for 20 minutes. It's hard to tell what a guy's about in 20 minutes. You can fake it for 20 minutes. And maybe you can fake it for a week, but that's going to be a hard thing to do. The head coach is probably going to figure some things out, especially on the positive side. And I just think that's a really, really good deal. I think that's a big deal for the New Orleans Saints. So I'm fascinated by when we evaluate the Saints draft class the Monday after. Like, we'll know a lot about the first-round pick the Saints make. It's a top 10 pick. We'll know that guy. We'll have studied him inside and out. We'll have a good feeling on what that is. But, like, most of the time, I never heard of the guy the Saints took in the 5th round. I'll look him up when the name is called. But I don't know. But I'm curious how many of the guys are going to come from Mobile. I'm curious. Let's say the Saints make 7 draft picks this year. Like, is it a good bet that over 50% will come from the Senior Bowl? I think it could be. It certainly was last year. Your quarterback came from this. So I'm fascinated by what the Saints do with this. We won't get our answer until April. But the question is right there in front of us. And I'm pumped up that our guys are there and that the Saints have the opportunity to meet with some of these players. They obviously have needs all over the roster. They need another offensive lineman to start. The guards are both question marks. They need playmakers on the offensive side, wide receiver for sure, maybe running back. We don't really know. Then what about pass rusher? How do they feel about the corners? Do you need to eventually get the replacement for Werner and Davis? Is Stutzman one of those guys? Like, there are questions in a lot of different places. I think that the wins that the Saints picked up late in the season kind of masked that for a short period of time. But if you zoom out and really look at where the Saints are, like, they've got needs at a lot of places, even though they won some games late. And so how many of those can you address in this draft? It's hard to do. It's hard to hit on 3rd and 4th round picks. But that's what makes the great organizations. That's what builds the great rosters. You can't go out there and solve your problems in free agency year over year over year, especially not in the salary cap situation the Saints often find themselves in. This is where you make the changes. And the Saints have an opportunity here to get some real knowledge of some of these guys over the course of a week in Mobile. And I think it is a franchise-altering week, potentially, if you can get this right. We'll see. That's our look at the Senior Bowl. Every morning, 7 to 10, our guys from Off the Bench there in Mobile. Let me tell you about my friends up in St. Francisville on Highway 61. That is, of course, Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Looks, your SUVs are hot right now. So if you're looking for a new SUV, maybe your lease is about to be up, maybe it's just time to get a new ride, go to Fabry Chevrolet GMC on Highway 61 in St. Francisville. Look at those Tahoes. Look at those Suburbans. Check out the Yukon. Check out the Denali on the GMC side. Gorgeous vehicles, and they've got a huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles there at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You can check it out online. The whole inventory is there at FabryChevrolet.com, or make that short drive up to St. Francisville and see what you got. You know what the Fabry family is about. They've been here for 35 years. You know they're going to give you unbelievable customer service. You know it's going to be a wonderful buying experience. You know there's service after the sale as well. It's Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at FabryChevrolet.com. All right, and to lead off hour number 2, got a few things that I want to touch on. It's a big week for Garrett Nussmeier. We'll get into some of that. I want to talk about the NFL, the playoffs we saw yesterday. Sean McVay, puzzling things late in that game that I want to get to. I've got some thoughts on LSU baseball as well, so don't go anywhere. We'll come back and close out hour number 1 when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
One Bath and Closets. OneBathAndClosets.com is the website. David Duvall and his team, 30 years redesigning and remodeling bathrooms and closets. Safety's a big deal in the bathroom, especially as folks age in your life. If you've got someone in your life that's getting up there in age that wants to stay home, you feel like there could be a hazardous situation in the bathroom, do what you can to mitigate it. Non-slip floors can help. Walk-in tubs are more comfortable and safer. A bench and a shower could help. You could put guardrails in potentially slippery areas. These are the things that David Duvall and his team do all the time. So if you're looking to have a bit of an overhaul done in the bathroom to make things a little bit safer, call David. Have that consultation. That doesn't cost you anything. If you need financing, they've got it available 18 months, 0%, same as cash. It's One Bath and Closets. You can find their work online at onebathandclosets.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience, or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. If you're battling an insurance company because of a wreck not your fault and they're not calling you back or being fair, Whether you hire us at all, give us a call, 272-5555, or email Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates. You have nothing to lose.
Hello, I'm Collins Meredith. If you've been injured on the job, you'll likely have a workers' compensation claim, but you may also have a tort claim which opens up significant recovery rights not normally available for a work injury. If this is you, call us or come see us at Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan and Associates.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories,
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Close out hour number one here on a chilly Monday in the capital city. Hope you're staying safe out there. We kind of avoided anything of real significance here in Baton Rouge, best I can tell. It certainly was cold yesterday, last night, and into today, but the roads seemed to be dry. I didn't have any issues coming on in. My wife went to work this morning, so hopefully everything has passed. I know the folks in North Louisiana still dealing with some icy roads and whatnot, so everybody be safe when you're able to return to the road, and we appreciate you all making us part of your Monday. Whether you're taking the day off, the kids are off, you're home working, or you're just off completely, or you're at work, appreciate you coming and hang out with us here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Charlie Weiss Jr. is in demand. He reportedly, according to ESPN's Diana Rossini, spoke with the Philadelphia Eagles regarding their vacant offensive coordinator situation, and he ultimately informed the Eagles he would be returning to LSU. And Charlie Weiss has worked in multiple different stints with Lane Kiffin. He was with Lane Kiffin at Florida Atlantic. Then he was certainly there at Ole Miss since 2022, and then has now joined Lane Kiffin at LSU as well. And those two guys have put together prolific offenses. There's no way around it. You're talking about a team that led the SEC in total offense in 2025, led the SEC in total offense in 2024. Back in 2023, when LSU obviously led the conference in offense, Ole Miss was third. They've run the ball exceptionally well. They've thrown the ball exceptionally well. And you sometimes wonder, when you've got a coordinator working for a head coach, how much that coordinator is actually having in terms of input, because it's quote unquote the head coach's offense. We know that Charlie Weiss left Lane Kiffin briefly, didn't go great. And now back with Lane Kiffin, things have been awesome. But Ole Miss scored a bunch of points on Georgia, scored 39 in the Sugar Bowl. They played a really tough Miami defense, and I thought moved the ball well in the second half of that game without Lane Kiffin. But sometimes you don't know if it's the coordinator or it's just all the head coach. Like, there's two examples that I'm thinking of in my head. Okay, you had Kirby Smart running, quote-unquote, Nick Saban's defense, right? How much was he really even doing at Alabama? Well, he takes over at Georgia. Seems like he knows what he's doing on defense. They're pretty good. Then I think about the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think about Andy Reid and Eric Bieniemy. And Eric Bieniemy left the Chiefs and kind of flamed out at two different places. Wasn't a success on his own in the NFL. Ended up at UCLA. That was a complete mess. So you never really know, but Charlie Weiss will ultimately get a shot to fly the coop. It just hasn't happened yet. And so I think Lane Kiffin's concern level on that is probably pretty low. I don't know that for sure. He obviously wanted Charlie Weiss here at LSU. They paid him a lot of money, over $7 million for 3 years to get him to Baton Rouge. And then when Weiss kind of got cold feet, maybe he wants to go back to Ole Miss, they upped the ante and got him another $500,000 a year. Like, Kiffin wanted Charlie Weiss at LSU and not at Ole Miss. You get the sense things go well, he'll probably get an opportunity next year or pretty quickly after that. You'll have two coordinators that are probably going to be in demand the whole time they're here. Now, Blake Baker has said, hey, I'm not leaving for just any job. I want to take the Kirby Smart route. Obviously, Marcus Freeman's done that as well. Ryan Day, where you go from, hey, I'm a coordinator at a big-time school. Now I'm the head coach at a big-time school, not taking the mid-major stop between. Charlie Weiss has gotten an opportunity to look at the NFL to be an offensive coordinator, and he turned it down. So you've got guys that obviously like where they are because they've had opportunities to leave, and they haven't. But that phone's not going to stop ringing, and I think that's a good thing. You want people to want your coordinators. That's just the way it needs to go. Coordinators generally have a short shelf life because they either get fired or they get hired. Just the days of guys like John Chavis sticking around forever and ever at Tennessee are not really here anymore. Like Mickey Andrews calling the defense or Bobby Bowden. That just doesn't really happen much. Like Brent Venables did it for a long time at Clemson, finally decided to take that chance at Oklahoma. Blake Baker will ultimately get a shot somewhere, and I think Charlie Weiss will leave as well. I think it's really good for LSU to have Charlie Weiss on staff because I think he and Lane Kiffin obviously do a great job collaborating and creating the offense, but I think Lane Kiffin is the mastermind behind the whole thing, and Weiss is just Robin to the Batman. I want to have Robin. Robin helps, but you need Batman or Robin's not quite as effective, right? So I think it's good that Ole Miss wanted to keep Charlie Weiss around. I think it's good that the Eagles wanted to talk to Charlie Weiss. I think it's good that Charlie Weiss is in demand. I think it's good that he'll be at LSU next year, barring something unforeseen in the next couple of weeks. But Diane Orsini makes that report. LSU will keep its offensive coordinator, and I fully expect, it's like I said in the first segment today, I talked about Jordan Seaton coming in. I don't see a huge ramp-up phase for LSU offensively. Like, you've got to get these guys on the same page. Spring football is important, and then fall camp is vital. But I don't see a reason why LSU shouldn't be a top 5 offense in the SEC in 2026. I don't. I think they ought to be a top 5 offense in the SEC. Maybe top 3. That was the standard at Ole Miss. Now, they had been there a little while longer, but they ought to be that good. And Charlie Weiss is a key component of that. And Charlie Weiss calls the plays. He's the play caller. Now, Lane Kiffin's on the headset. I'm sure his voice is heard, but Charlie Weiss calls the plays. And I realize that you got a quarterback that can't go through spring practice, and that's a big deal too. But it's a good thing for LSU that Charlie Weiss is going to be coming back. And it appears, unless something completely unforeseen happens, that's going to be the case. Talk to the Eagles. That's a pretty good organization to go work for. Got a pretty good quarterback, pretty good offensive line, pretty good playmakers. Like, I can't think of a better vacancy that's open as far as offensive coordinators go than Philly. Maybe you could make the case for Baltimore. I would listen to that. But it's about as good a situation as you can get. And I think that's an interesting piece, too, that I hadn't really considered until I started talking it through. Like, Charlie Weiss said no to the Eagles. Blake Baker said no to a really good spot at Tulane. That's a good spot. They've won a lot the last couple of years. They've got a motivated but small donor base. He doesn't have to move too far. It's his alma mater. It's a great jumping off point for coaches who have gone on to better things from there. Great spot. Turn it down. Eagles are a great spot. Charlie Weiss turned it down. Stands to reason LSU's got a pretty good thing going here, and Charlie Weiss wants to be a part of it for at least 1 year. I would suggest I'd be pretty stunned if Blake Baker and Charlie Weiss were coaching the season opener in 2028 at LSU. I don't think that's very likely. 2027, maybe. 2026, they'll be here. So that's a good deal for LSU. Charlie Weiss, not going to the Eagles, going to stay at LSU to be the offensive coordinator in Baton Rouge. All right, that's it for hour number 1 here on this Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Opened it up talking about Jordan Seaton and what his addition to LSU's offensive line means. Talked about the depth chart, talked about the offense, talked about the player. It's a big deal. You can catch that wherever you find your sound. Hunt on LSU on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google. Hunt on LSU is where all our LSU content lives. Hunt on Saints as well. Talked about the Saints and their opportunity in the Senior Bowl at 1:30. I think it's a big deal for the organization to have its running back coach right there in the middle of all of it for the American team in Mobile. And also discuss the awful LSU basketball defense and just what that's meant to this team so far. So all that you can catch on demand. Just search the Hunt Palmer Show wherever you find your sound. We got a lot to do in hour number 2 as well. Excited for it. I want to talk a little bit about LSU baseball. We heard from Jay Johnson, Derek Curiel, Jake Brown, Kason Evans back on Friday. I've got a couple pieces up at LouisianaSports.net. I want to talk about that. It's a big week for Garrett Nussmeier. And also want to recap what we saw in the championship games yesterday. A lot of folks inside, out of the cold, watching football yesterday. We'll talk about some of that when we come back. We'll pause for national headlines at SportsCenter. Hope your Monday is going well. Your work week's off to a good start. Come back for hour 2.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Marucci, baseball season is coming. Softball season is coming. I actually ran into LSU head softball coach Beth Torina yesterday buying a cup of coffee. They're almost here, 2 weeks before softball for LSU. If you've got a youth softball player in your house, you've got a youth baseball player in your house, take them by Marucci. Take a tour. Look at where they make the official bat of Major League Baseball. Look at where they make 1,200 bats every single day. It started back in 2004 in a backyard shed. It's grown into what it is now, a gym here in Baton Rouge. They love to give tours. Take your youth softball team on a tour. Take your youth baseball team on a tour. Schedule a batting practice session over there at Marucci as well. Such a cool spot. And it's that time of year where you want to get in there and take some swings and get ready for the season to come. Can't do that if it's freezing cold outside. Do it inside at Marucci. It's where they make the official bat of Major League Baseball. Book a tour today at maruccisports.com/campus-tour.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith, Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs, set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free, confidential help now.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
Supreme Jasmine is premium American-grown rice. From local farms to your table, every grain is supreme. Pick up a bag of Jasmine or any other of our Supreme American rice.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Former NFL quarterback Phillip Rivers withdrew from the Bills' head coaching search today. Buffalo is scheduled to interview Broncos passing game coordinator Davis Webb today. The team also considering Jacksonville offensive coordinator Grant Udinski. He withdrew his name from the Browns coaching search. One of the most important aspects of the Cleveland job involves the quarterback position, believes ESPN NFL analyst Damian Woody.
Comes down to the quarterback. Listen, they had a great draft in 2025. A lot of those rookies went on to play have productive years for the Cleveland Browns, but they got to solve the quarterback position. And you have to wonder and think, is that the next head coach going to be on the offensive side to try to get this quarterback situation resolved with the Cleveland Browns?
Browns quarterback Shedeur Sanders added to the upcoming Pro Bowl games. He replaces New England's Drake May. NBA, an MRI confirmed a calf strain for Bucs star Giannis Antetokounmpo. A potential return date remains uncertain at this point. Coach Doc Rivers told reporters that the team's not considered resting Giannis the rest of this season, despite his history of calf issues.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy, coming up Tuesday. The Super Bowl might be 2 weeks away, but it's never too early to give you my keys to the game. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Now, the Hunt Palmer Show.
Yes! I feel like I've been waiting for this my entire life.
You're listening to the Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Jolly good fun. Jolly good.
Locking down the middle of the day.
America's favorite daytime fun show.
Live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. I'm getting cooked in the Bayou Ford chat right now. Hand up. I made a bad gumbo last night. I did a bad job. I generally make a very good gumbo. I'm a bad cook. Bad cook. But I make a good gumbo. Last night's was bad. I got the roux too hot. It didn't burn, but when I added the stock to it, it didn't thicken right. It just got oily and stringy. It was bad. I did a terrible job. I was embarrassed. I was disappointed. I got to check the tape. I got to go back and work on it. Next time we do a gumbo, we're going to hit it. I nail gumbo every time. I haven't made a bad gumbo in years. It was bad last night. My wife was quite disappointed. It is what it is, though. You gotta live and learn. Making tacos tonight. I bet I don't screw that up. Just got to do some ground beef, put some cheese on it, throw some sour cream in there, maybe slice an avocado. I will get the tacos right tonight. The gumbo yesterday, embarrassing. They're going, we know a guy from Shreveport can't cook a gumbo. I can do a gumbo. And by the way, and like I am from Shreveport, I'm proud to be from Shreveport, but I mean, I've been in Baton Rouge 20 years now. Lived in Shreveport 18, so there's got to be some South Louisiana in my blood at this point. A little bit. There's in my kids' blood. The gumbo last night was disappointing. Hate to see that. We've got leftover in the fridge, and I don't even want to heat it up because it's just not good. It is what it is. What are we talking about here in hour number 2? I know I want to get to some baseball in 30 minutes. I want to get to an NFL recap in 15 minutes. Let's talk about Garrett Nussmeier here. This is a really, really big week for Garrett Nussmeier in Mobile. There's a piece up at Louisiana at ESPN.com ranking the NFL draft quarterbacks kind of by class. In the first class, they've got Fernando Mendoza. They've got Ty Simpson. They've got Trinidad Chambliss, who won't be in this draft class. And then at 4, they've got Garrett Nussmeier. And Mel Kiper wrote about it, said, he's got to improve a lot of different things. This season did not go the way that he wanted it to. This is my take on Garrett Nussmeier's senior season. 1, he was hurt, and I don't know to what degree he was hurt. I don't know. He'll have to talk to the NFL teams about that. I'm sure he's got medical records on that. That's just a discussion he'll have to have behind closed doors. He was never going to admit it during the season. If y'all have heard Garrett talk ever, He's got media savvy. He's grown up in a football house. He's never going to make an excuse. He's never going to say the wrong thing. He's a boring interview. I think he's a great guy, and I think he's certainly boring on purpose. But like for the media purposes, he's boring because he is just going to hammer cliches. He's not going to give you excuses. He's not going to put anything on the bulletin board. He's a boring interview. So we never knew how bad he was hurt. But what I can tell you is that he was an awful fit for what LSU had this year offensively. That's not his fault. It's just reality. This is an LSU football team that could not run the ball, so pass rushers could tee off. They did not have good tackle play. They did not stretch the field. He was a sitting duck. And that's worst case scenario for a guy that doesn't move that well. We know, beyond a reasonable doubt, we know that Garrett Nussmeier is a good college passer. He threw for the second most yards in the history of LSU football in a single season last year. Burrow is the only one who ever threw for more yards in a single season. That's not a fluke. That's not luck. That's not just the wide receivers. He wasn't even throwing to any first-round draft picks last year. It was Kyron Lacy. It was Aaron Anderson, little Xavion Thomas, had Mason Taylor. But, like, it wasn't Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. It wasn't Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. It wasn't Beckham and Landry. It wasn't Clayton and Reed. It was a nice receiving core. He threw for 4,000 yards. He's not 6'5". He doesn't have Mettenberger or Jamarcus Russell's arm, but he's a good college passer. But his ability to be a good college passer went away this year because the offensive line was bad, the running game was non-existent, the pass rush got home, and his wide receivers didn't win down the field, and his coaching staff couldn't create opportunities down the field. How many times is there a guy running wide open deep that he just missed? Not often. And how much of those misses, like the Louisiana Tech interception, first drive, how much of that was the injury? I think a lot. I've seen Garrett Nussmeier get the ball down the field better than that. But he was a terrible fit for this offense. This offense, which could not run the ball traditionally with the running back, needed a quarterback who could move a little bit. Nussmeier doesn't move. So he now gets an opportunity, and it's not really fair, but it's 1 week that he gets behind what should be a more functional offensive line in what will be a system that's not LSU's. And he gets 1 week of practices in a game to go out and do some things that look a lot better than what his 2025 season looked like. His 2024 season puts some things on tape that make you go, okay, that guy's got a chance. And he'll do really well on the whiteboards, I'm sure, because his dad is a freaking offensive coordinator in the NFL, and he spent 5 years in college. And he'll do great in the interviews because he's incredibly polished and well-spoken. We'll see what the medical looks like. And then he's got good tape from 24, not good tape from 25. This is his last chance to escape the awful fit that he was and to try to impress one team this week. Because that's all it takes is one team. You don't have to convince 22 teams you're good. You have to convince one. And Garrett Nussmeier gets that opportunity in Mobile this week. I'm pulling for him. I feel awful for him. Because I think that's a kid that loves LSU and wanted to play for LSU. And in this day and age, that's about all I can ask for in terms of personality. He picked LSU out of high school. He sat behind multiple different starting quarterbacks in front of him, took a transfer in Jaden Daniels, didn't leave, stayed for an extra year when he could have gone to the draft. He would have been a better draft pick last year than he is now. But he wanted to play for LSU. He played hurt. He gave you everything he had, and it just didn't work out. It's criminal that his final moments on the field in that uniform were at the end of the A&M game when he was getting sacked and they pulled him off the field for his safety. Like, that is criminal. When you think about some of the great quarterbacks and, like, their swan songs, like Burrow putting on the EAUX jersey and beating A&M by 1,000. You think of Jaden Daniels leading that comeback to beat A&M and to sew up the Heisman Trophy. And the last image of Nussmeier is he's just been sacked again by Texas A&M in an empty stadium, and he comes off the field because they're sick of him getting sacked and throws his helmet on the ground. Like, that's where it ended. I feel bad about that. There are some people that go, he didn't play that well, whatever. That's not how I feel. I feel like that guy gave the program everything he possibly had and just didn't get what I think he probably deserved at the end of it. So hopefully for him, he can put that LSU helmet on one more time. They let you do that in the Senior Bowl. You can get an offensive line that functions a little bit better. He's hopefully healthier. He hadn't played football since well before Thanksgiving. And he can go out there and make some throws and do some things in practice that'll catch one team's eye. I don't think it's likely he's a top 4-round pick. I think you're looking at 5, 6, 7 for him, depending on when one team wants to pull that trigger. But hey, that's you see some guys make some teams doing that. It's a big week for Garrett Nussmeier. I'm pulling for him. Curious what Matt Flynn thinks about him. We know that Matt Flynn's a big Nussmeier guy. Curious to see what he thinks he looks like in practice. Curious what Jake thinks. You can listen to those guys in the mornings all week long and see kind of what they think about it all. But of the LSU guys, I don't know if anybody's got more opportunity than Garrett Nussmeier this week to make a statement, because we all think what we saw in 2024 is the real guy. But what we saw in 2025 had so many elements working against him, it just was an avalanche that he couldn't get out from under. He gets a week to try to rectify it. We'll see if he can make that happen over in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. That's my thoughts on Garrett Nussmeier. Let's come back. Let's talk a little bit about LSU baseball, shall we? We'll do that next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Looking for a fresh start this spring? How about Auctioneer's Eat Fit Alcohol Free for 40 Challenge? It's back. 40-day reset. Help you sleep better, boost your energy, feel your best. Maybe you've done that already with Dry January. Maybe you haven't and you're thinking, that might be a good idea. It's not about giving anything up forever. That's not the point. Just seeing how your body may respond if you take a break, let it recharge. You can actually see the changes your body makes, and they do that by giving you access to pre- and post-challenge metrics like your body composition, blood pressure, some optional labs. They've also got zero-proof drink ideas, nutrition tips, and then you've got a community around you that can help you take on the challenge together. Registration's now open, so if you want to take the official event, maybe just take the challenge from home, your chance to hit reset and feel the difference. Alcoholfreefor40.com is the website. That's the number 40. Check them out online, alcoholfreefor40.com. That's from our friends at Auctioneer.
My father, J.B. Falgu, had a vision of growth for First American Bank and the communities we serve. The bank's foundation was built on his legacy of compassion, loyalty, and dedication. Through his years of leadership, First American has prospered to heights even JB could not have imagined. I know my father would be extremely proud of the customer service and financial stability that First American provides to Southeast Louisiana. We continue to thrive because of the legacy of JB Falgu.
Most roofers just replace your shingles. At Pelican, we diagnose your roof, digging deep down to find the root cause of your roof symptoms. Now cough for me. Good. We don't ignore your roof's issues, we address them. Let's just take care of this right here. Helping your roof to become the best version of itself. Interesting that you would say that. How does that make you feel? So call Pelican Roofing for your free roof checkup today.
Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates has won for our clients over $175 million over the decades, but our greatest success is our clients who have chosen and trusted us to help them. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call. You've got nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan. If you get injured, you could be staring at medical bills, repair costs, and lost income. Life can be turned upside down. At Lockmeyer, Sean Fagan and Associates, we'll work to turn your world right side up. Hire us, and like thousands of our clients, you'll be glad you did.
I'm Gabrielle McLeod on behalf of the Louisiana Propane Dealers. I have spent hundreds of hours preparing for scholarship competitions. That preparation paid off when I won the Fitness and Talent Awards along with the title of Miss Louisiana. The Louisiana Propane Dealers are also pretty talented and want you to be prepared for when the power goes out. Visit LouisianaPropane.com to find out about propane generators and other safety tips. Louisiana Propane, it truly is the fuel for our future.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, They've been called upon to cradle and cool your crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
We typically think of stress as being bad for us. At Our Lady of the Lake and LSU, we are researching how certain types of stress, such as exercise, can be good for our immune health. By studying people under extreme stress, such as athletes, astronauts, service members, and first responders.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
So Friday at 11 o'clock, Jay Johnson met with the media. He was followed by Derek Curiel, Kason Evans, and Jake Brown. LSU then scrimmaged on Friday. Weren't able to get out there on the field on Saturday or Sunday, and I'd imagine today might have been a little challenging with the temperatures, although it's possible with the sunshine. It's a lot better in the sun around here. I park in the shade back behind the building. I got out of the car. It's really cold in the shade. In the sun, it's not that terrible. So maybe they were able to get out on the field today. Certainly the indoor cage is always an option. But LSU's ramping up to start things in about 3 weeks. And I was listening to Jay Johnson on Friday. I was listening to Curiel. I was listening to Brown. Listening to Stephen Milam as well. And you hear the things that Jay Johnson is imparting on this team. They're trying to do something that everyone is struggling with top of the sport. It goes back to Mississippi State winning that national championship. They came back the next year and were terrible. The next season, Ole Miss won the national championship. They came back and were terrible. And then LSU won in 23, and they weren't terrible in 2024, but they started 3-12 in the league, and they snuck into the NCAA tournament, and they went to Chapel Hill and got beat in that Monday game where Helmer's pitched so great. But it wasn't a season near LSU standard in terms of the results in the conference, and then the fact that you didn't host a regional and didn't advance out of regional play. Like you fell short of a lot of your goals there. So LSU struggled with that. And then the next year, Tennessee won the title, and they did not have as good a year last year. They did not host a regional. They won their road regional, and then they went to Fayetteville and got beat there. But they struggled mightily replicating the success that won them a national championship. So you go back and like the 2022 champ struggled the next year. 2021 champ struggled, and then the 22 champ, 3, 4, 5, and now they're the 2025 champion. What do they have in 2026? And you would think that LSU would have an advantage here in learning how to back this title up because they won one 2 years ago. Now they made some missteps the next year. It just took a while for Jumpin' Holman to become Jumpin' Holman. Took a while for Stephen Milam as a true freshman to really take off. They had their issues, certainly on Sunday. Now, I would argue that the fact that they faced Carter Holton and Jurangelo Sanja and Jack Caglione on game threes had something to do with that, but they were struggling to win those games against some of the better pitchers in the country that they just happened to be running into in game threes. So I was curious to hear what Jay Johnson would say about that on Friday. And what he said was that he took some notes from Ben Johnson, the coach of the Bears. And they asked Ben Johnson after this good season by Bears standards, like, how do you keep the momentum going? He was like, well, you have to start over. And that is true. Like, no game that LSU won last year, and there were 54 of them, matters moving forward. You don't get any credit for those wins. So you are starting over. But you're doing that with a group of guys that lived through it. You've got some connective tissue to last year's team on this team. Your entire outfield is back. Your shortstop is back. Two guys who pitched the highest leverage bullpen innings you had all year, Kason Evans and Zach Cowan, are back. Your head coach is back. Your pitching coach is back. Your bench coach is back. Your recruiting coordinator is back. There is turnover. You don't have Jarrett Jones. You don't have Daniel Dickinson. You don't have Michael Braswell. You don't have Josh Pearson. You don't have Luis Hernandez. Most importantly, you don't have Cade Anderson or Anthony Ianson, Chase Shores. Like, you are losing a ton of production in the form of those guys. But you have a lot of connective tissue. And what those guys said on Friday was like, we know what the standard is around here. And we know that you don't just snap your fingers and end up in Omaha. It's about doing your work daily. That's what Jake Brown said. It's just about handling your business. We did that last year. We know how to do that this year. Now, losing Anderson and Ianson's a big deal. Okay? You played against Coastal Carolina 2 games over 2 days, and you only used 3 pitchers. Anderson threw a complete game shutout. Ianson and Shores came back the next day and worked all 9 innings. They're all gone. But you've got real talent, real depth, and a lot of connective tissue. And it just stands to reason that LSU will be better positioned this year to handle the success and play better in league play and do something that hasn't been done since pre-COVID, literally, and play a college baseball season as the reigning national champions up to the standard your program expects. Because no one's done it since 2018. No one. And that's the challenge. And Jay Johnson kind of said it's not about carrying the momentum. It's not about continuing anything in terms of the wins that we had last year. It's a new team. It's got to be the same attitude, but you got to start on the ground. And I have some questions about some of the pieces and how they fit together. I would not say concerns. I did not say concerns. Questions. And you have time to work those out. You got 3 weeks preseason. You got 4 pre-conference weekends. And you figure those things out. At this time last year, Cade Anderson was not Cade Anderson. Anthony Ianson was not Anthony Ianson. Chase Shores was not Chase Shores. Chase Shores wasn't Chase Shores until May. I went to the beach Easter week. They were playing Bama. Shores had lost his job in the rotation, came in out of the bullpen, gave up a homer. And I remember sitting in the condo that we were with my family, watching this going, Chase Shores just can't help. He became the bullpen bullet down the stretch. It's a long way to go to find who you are as a team. Long way to go. But you got time to do it. It's just a matter of can you... The question begs, this is what I'm getting to ultimately. The question begs, did those teams struggle because they lost too much talent or because their mindset changed after winning? Maybe it's both. But for LSU, you do lose talent, but you have replaced the talent. You are not considerably less talented this season than you were last season. That may happen at Ole Miss, but it's not happening here. So if LSU were to come up short, it would indicate some sort of mental lapse, I think. Because I don't think talent is your issue. I don't think Anthony Ianson is immensely more talented than Cooper Moore. I don't think Cade Anderson is immensely more talented than Kason Evans. I don't think Michael Braswell is significantly more talented than Trent Caraway. I don't think Daniel Dickinson's immensely more talented than Dardar or Simpson or whoever wins that job. I know Luis Hernandez is more talented than Cade Arambidi. Same thing goes for Josh Pearson. It's not a talent thing. If this doesn't go the way that we think it should go, it'll be something else. And that's, I think, why the questions were asked. You got all the right answers. And certainly, if Jay Johnson is anything, it's prepared and always adapting. He talked on Friday about how much he loves listening to other coaches. And I find it fascinating that the LSU baseball coach is listening to anecdotes from the Chicago Bears head coach. The NFL and college baseball don't share a lot of parallels, but coaching does. And now dealing with success with a young group of players does. And my confidence level in Jay Johnson and that staff and those players to get this thing righted and to be better than last year's Tennessee was, or the 2 years ago LSU was, or the 3 years ago Ole Miss was, or the 4 years ago Mississippi State was. I'm confident they will back this thing up. But it is a story. And it is a story until they make sure it's not. Really good quote, I thought, from Derek Curiel on Friday, talking about, hey, the thing I learned as a freshman is that for 56 games, it's just not all going to go right. He said, we had a bad weekend at Auburn. They got swept. So we had a bad weekend at A&M. Got beat by a really good player with an opposite field home run in game 3. Like, Caden Sorrell's really good. Smoke one off the scoreboard off Zach Cowan. Happens. But he said, like, it's just sometimes bad weekends happen. You're not going to win 14 weekends in a row entering the SEC tournament. You're just not. LSU will lose some weekends this year. Part of the season. But you got to respond to it. And LSU struggled to stop the snowball 2 years ago. They lost weekends to Tennessee, and to Vanderbilt, and to Florida, and to Arkansas. Like, they couldn't stop the snowball. That's what you got to do. Last year, LSU did it. Had a bad weekend at Auburn, came back. Had a bad weekend against A&M, came back. Had a bad game against Little Rock. They got smoked by Little Rock on that Sunday. Absolutely smoked. Came back, and they were losing in game 2. Came back and got it done. Didn't face a ton of adversity after that. Certainly showed some moxie against Arkansas to come back and win that game late, and they got down in the top of the first to UCLA when Heinsohn was on the mound before that game got delayed. But they always responded. How does this team respond? You can't just hand the ball to Cade Anderson again. You can't just hand it to Anthony Heinsohn again. You got to respond. Jarrett Jones isn't here to hit the 3-run homer. They got guys who can do it. And we'll see how the positional battles work out over the next 3 weeks and then beyond that, and I'll certainly talk about it, and we'll see how the batting order shakes out, and we'll see. All that stuff is good to talk about, and we'll discuss it as we move forward. The mindset of this team and then just how you respond to great play, to a championship, is going to be interesting. It's a good problem to have. I'll take this problem, like the problem. But how do they handle it? What is the answer to that problem? That's what we'll get. Their answers were good on Friday. I've got a little piece up at LouisianaSports.net that has some quotes from Jake Brown, has a quote from Curiel in it, has a quote from Jay Johnson in it. If you want to read that, looking for a little baseball fix, you can find it over there at LouisianaSports.net. I'm about 4 days away from starting up my position previews. I want to do that over the 2 weeks to get into opening day. Looking forward to it. Be out there at the box at 1 o'clock a couple weeks from Friday. So that's a little look at LSU baseball. Let's do some NFL talk when we come back. It's the Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. You're looking for a commercial loan? How about my friends at First American Bank and Trust? Looking for a residential loan? How about my friends at First American Bank and Trust? They've been at it 116 years, founded in 1910. We had our Guarantee 100 celebration back on Saturday. They got us by 16 years. It's an amazing, amazing company. It's a group that you should feel comfortable doing business with. They got 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana, and their management averages 25 years with the bank because it's a wonderful place to work, and they're ingrained in the fabric of every community, whether they're in St. John Parish, Lafourche Parish, Terrebonne, St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, maybe in Dutchtown, Jones Creek. They're part of the community, and they want to make your dreams come true. So if you're looking for that loan for that first home, or you're looking to get your business rolling and to get a loan there, all the decisions are made locally in Southeast Louisiana. That's what they promise you at First American Bank and Trust. Go see them. It's First American Bank and Trust.
Who bears the standard? Who sets the bar? It's not those satisfied by low-hanging fruit or by taking it easy. Now the standard is set by the best of us, by those who work hard. Dig deeper. Give more. At Sunshine, we're proud to provide John Deere products that work hard for you, the standard bearers. Find the dealer nearest you at sunequip.com.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith with Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. We take great pride in educating our clients about their rights. Whether you're injured at work or while you drive, call our office at 272-5555. Knowledge is power, and you should know your rights after an injury.
Hi, I'm Sean Fagan of Locke Meredith Sean Fagan & Associates. When insurance companies have been unfair, we've never been afraid to go to trial. Fighting hard to protect your rights, we never settle a case out of convenience. We only settle when it's right for you. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Sometimes you ignore the signs, even when they're right in front of you. Problem gambling isn't always easy to spot. Know the signs. Set your limit. Learn more about healthy gambling habits by visiting us online or text or call for free confidential help now.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best. We're hiring pipe fitters, iron workers, boiler makers, combo and structural welders, rig welders, carpenters, crane operators, dirt operators, and more. If you're ready to work, ready to earn, and ready to build something that lasts, call Big Jake at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Looking for cleaner energy? Propane is energy for everyone. And when you're cooking with clean, affordable propane, you're cooking with gas. In the wintertime, nothing heats a home like Louisiana propane. And when you need hot water, propane's got you covered. Oh, and you won't regret that propane generator when the power goes out. I'm Miss Louisiana, Gabrielle McLeod, and to find more information...
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
I was really excited to watch the NFL playoffs yesterday. I've got some thoughts on it. First, let me remind you about my friends at Swing Easy Golf Club, though, and we'll get into some NFL talk after this. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge. It's chilly this week. It's going to be chilly this weekend as well. If you want to play some golf this time of year, probably the best place to do it is Swing Easy Golf Club. You go in, get on those golf simulators. If you've never played on a simulator before, it's a lot of fun. I love it. I love golf, and if I'm being completely honest, like my preference would be to go play a golf course outdoors in great weather. That's the preference, but it's not always practical, and it doesn't mean that playing indoors on a simulator is significantly lesser. I think it's really fun. It's just a different experience. If you've never done it, go give it a try. You can play Pebble Beach. You can play Cypress Point. You can play TPC Sawgrass. They play a pretty important tournament that's a major championship in April. They got that course on there too. You can go play, bring your friends, go by yourself, book a tee time, book that individual bay. Got great comfortable seating options. They can crank the music for you. Bring that bucket of beer in there, grab some seltzers, and just play some golf. Doesn't matter what the weather is outside. It's always perfect inside at Swing Easy Golf Club. They are on Seaton at Perkins. You can find them online at swingeasygcbr.com. Swing Easy Golf Club in Baton Rouge, Seaton at Perkins. The first thing I want to talk about, because it's pretty insignificant in the grand scheme of things, but it just surprised me a little bit because I tweeted about it, and like there's a lot of y'all that disagree with me on that. Y'all like watching a football game in conditions that don't allow the players to play football? People actually enjoy that? I mean, the end of the game at Patriots-Broncos was unwatchable to me. Like, the wide receivers can't run routes. The running backs are slipping. It's just it's fun to play if you're a 9-year-old kid and it's snowing, but we're determining who's going to the Super Bowl here, and we can't run and cut. I found it to be super boring football because of the conditions. You got 3 points after halftime. I'm all for LSU Bama 2011 when you're not scoring because the defenses are that good. But when you can't score because your wide receivers are wearing cement shoes and slipping, that's just not super interesting to me. And I realize this seems like blasphemy to a lot of people, and I am a little surprised at how many people disagree with me. when I'm commissioner, which I don't think is going to be anytime soon, we're doming up, people, because we're playing the most important football games of the year, and every once in a while, we're just not able to play. Like, y'all want to just spray Windex all over the NBA floors and see who can not slip and fall when they're trying to run a fast break? Do we want to play baseball with puddles all over the infield? Just see, that one skipped through and that one, it's a different sport. I'm being hyperbolic. I'm being a little bit ridiculous there. I understand it, but that was a boring finish to a game. And I think that the Patriots and Broncos both have great coaches, great defenses, have great teams that I was very interested in watching. And I don't know how much the blocked field goal had to do with the conditions and how much Lutz just kicked it low. I'm not really sure. But I know it doesn't help. And I know that you can't practice it. And it's just too much chance and too much randomness that's being brought in at the highest level for me. And I hate that I'm now leading the NFL segment talking about the weather instead of the game. And so congrats to the Patriots. And by the way, I'm super excited for Patriots Seahawks. I think that's a really good Super Bowl. I think it's interesting. I think it's cool for these two quarterbacks who have kind of burst onto the scene. I think it's very cool for these two coaches to have this first opportunity. I think the teams are good. I think the game's going to be great. I think the result of our playoffs is going to be very, very good. I thought the AFC Championship game kind of stunk. And if I'm Sean Payton, I'm feeling a little snake bit at this point. And I know Saints fans are not going to get too upset about it, but Nola no call, that's brutal. Yeah, the Vikings disaster at the end of that's brutal. And this time, you lose your starting quarterback, and then in the second half, you can't play real football, and you're losing. And people say, well, you should have kicked the field goal at the end of the first half. I agree with that. I'm going to talk about that with the Rams and Seahawks in a second. I'm for taking points. I think that's a good thing to do, and I think Sean Payton made a misstep there. I also don't know if he fully understood what that second half was going to look like. And again, that goes back to real chance and randomness. And I was not captivated by the second half of Patriots Broncos. It's a cool look, like a snow globe, I guess. But in terms of the quality of the product and the football, I thought it kind of stunk. And most people disagreed with me. Twitter was like, no, it's awesome. You can tell that Vrabel had played in these games and knew what he was doing coaching in them. And I think it looks cool. And it's football. You got to be tough. And I'm getting all this kind of stuff. And I'm just like, you're perfectly free to have that opinion. I just don't share it at all. I thought it stunk. But go to Rams Seahawks. This was a really good game. I really enjoyed this football game last night. I am looking at this game at the end. Rams are down 4. You've got 5 minutes to go. You got 4th and 6 down there inside the 10. And I'm looking at it going, I think I'm kicking this field goal. I think there's value into going down 1. In the NFL these days, inside of 55 yards is a very confident field goal. And if I'm Sean McVay and I've got a chance at what's essentially a free 3 points, you're talking about a 25-yard field goal. That's a free 3 points. What's the make rate on a 25% field goal? 99%? And so I'm down 1 with 5 minutes to go. I got to put my defense out there against a team that's probably going to run the ball some. Now, I get it. The Seahawks then mounted an 11-play drive, and my way probably wouldn't have worked, and his way didn't work either because they didn't get the 4th down. So maybe you're between a rock and a hard place here, but I just sense that coaches are terrified to kick a field goal, and I would have kicked it. And I say that understanding what happened after that, and that if you were going to give up an 11-play drive on the next drive, you needed to have 7 points there and not 3. Like, I get it. I understand what the result happened, but I feel like we're just averse to field goals. And I've been talking about this for like a month, and clearly I'm wrong here. I have to be wrong because these coaches, college and pro, are making tens of millions of dollars, and they're all in unison on this. They're all going for it. So clearly I'm wrong. But I just look at it and scratch my head and think, man, I'd really like to see you go for that. I can't fault Matt Stafford for this loss for the Rams. I know that this is a career-defining playoffs for him. He's getting towards the end of his career. You got the 1 Super Bowl, but you're tied with Trent Dilfer and Brad Johnson in that way. But he played one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in the NFL on the road. And Matt Stafford's line last night was 22 out of 35, for 374 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions. I have a hard time balking at that. But to his credit, Sam Darnold, against another very good defense, stepped up and goes 25 out of 36, 346 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He played Matt Stafford every bit as equal. And you look at the quarterback rating, Stafford was an 81.5 and Darnold was an 82.9. Their quarterback rating, Stafford 127.6, Darnold 127.8. They were separated by 0.2. Now, I have no idea how to calculate a quarterback rating. Not a clue. No idea. But I know that if you're talking about a number that goes all the way up to, in this case, 127.8, and you're separated by 0.2, that's pretty close. These two guys played great football last night. It was competitive. It was spirited. It was in a great environment for the sport. And I thought it lived up to what we wanted it to be. I told you Friday that I was taken by David Hellman's interview on After Further Review on Thursday when he talked about this game. And for those that don't know David Hellman, he's from New Orleans, went to LSU. I worked with him at the Rebel. He actually hired me at the Rebel. He's worked his way up through the Dallas Cowboys up into Fox and does some television stuff for Fox and writes and was with The Athletic. And he was just giddy talking about this game and how good it had the potential to be. And I thought it lived up to it. You're talking about a 4-point game where the loser had the football inside 6 minutes to go, inside the 10-yard line with a chance to take the lead. That's as good as it can get. And I thought that it was a great game to watch, a competitive game, one that created discussion. And I think we have a worthy NFC champion. So, again, I did not like where the game was played in the AFC yesterday. I did not like the second half aesthetics. But if you told me entering Friday, hey, entering Saturday, entering Sunday, you're getting Seahawks and Patriots for the Super Bowl, I think that's very interesting. It's not the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick over and over again. It's not the Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes over and over again, even though I like watching those teams because they're excellence. It's two teams and two coaches, two quarterbacks looking to carve their own legacy. The Seahawks immediately came out of the Pete Carroll, Russell Wilson era and are back where they feel like they should be. The Patriots had a blip there, but are right back to where they feel like they should be. Credit to those organizations for moving on from legends at quarterback and at head coach and replacing them with great pieces and great teams that have gotten back. And if you're a Saints fan, you're trying to do the same thing. You're trying to move on from two legends. I think Sean Payton has pretty much cemented himself as one of the best coaches. Drew Brees certainly has done that, and you're trying to move on. You can be where these Seahawks are, where these Patriots are, if you make the right moves. And those teams certainly have, and they're rewarded for it. Good day of football on Sunday. Certainly finished with a bang. I thought Seahawks and Rams was fantastic. So we'll take a timeout. We'll come back and close it out on this Monday edition of The Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. Entire inventory is online at FabryChevrolet.com, FabryChevrolet.com. Invite you to make that short drive to St. Francisville. Certainly if you're in Point Capee Parish, in the Felicianas, maybe you're in southern Mississippi, come on down to Fabry Chevrolet GMC under new ownership since October the 1st, but you know the Fabry family. They've been in business in this town for 35 years. 3 locations, 5 brands, unbelievable customer service, fantastic service after the sale. You know you're going to get this. It's what they've built their family reputation on for 35 years, and they're so thrilled to have this new point in St. Francisville on Highway 61. If you're looking for a new truck, how about a Chevy Silverado? Looking for an SUV? They've got the GMC Yukons, got the GMC Denali's. Big inventory there. It's all online at FabryChevrolet.com. Go by and see them in St. Francisville. Check out that website, FabryChevrolet.com.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
This new year, Hood Dental wants you smiling bigger and healthier than ever. New patients can get a healthy gums cleaning for just $89, plus a free exam and full mouth x-rays, a $376 value. With over 3,000 5-star Google reviews, 5 local locations, and easy online scheduling with same-day care, Hood Dental makes it simple to get started. And for January only, save 15% up to $150 on restorative treatment. Schedule today at hooddentalcare.com.
Transform your living space with Lacoste & Young Remodeling and take your home from outdated to outstanding. Redefine your kitchen for the ultimate culinary experience or elevate your daily routine with a spa-worthy bathroom retreat. Our skilled team brings 3D modeling to life to ensure your vision becomes a reality. We believe luxury should be accessible and offer tailored solutions to fit your budget without compromising quality. So contact us today for a free estimate. Lacoste & Young Remodeling, providing perfect solutions for your dream home.
After a decade of working in private duty nursing, I know how hard it can be to find compassionate care for the ones that you love the most. So I started Decision Critical, a premier concierge nursing agency, so we can take care of you wherever you are. Our highly skilled nurses provide exceptional care from the comfort of your own home with personalized packages for short-term, long-term, or even around-the-clock care. Visit us at decisioncriticalbr.com and give us a call today to get started.
I'm Lawyer Locke Meredith. We are honored and humbled to receive from our clients in Google, based on 5-star client reviews, the designation of our law firm is highly recommended. Whether you hire us at all, please give us a call, 272-5555. You have nothing to lose.
Hi, I'm Mitchell Meredith. Injuries happen when you least expect them to, making your life more complicated. At Locke Meredith Sean Fagan and Associates, we know this and we strive to help each of our clients during these times. Whether you hire us at all, give us a call at 272-5555.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Closing up shop here on this Monday. A lot of kiddos out of school today. I know the Palmer family had to work in shifts today. I took the morning shift at home. My wife came on home at lunchtime so I could come up here. She's got them. If you've made us part of your day while you're trapped inside with the kiddos, we appreciate it. If you're at work, like a lot of folks are, appreciate you making us part of your day there. If you've had the day off, thanks for hanging out with us on your day off. Hopefully everybody is safe and warm, and the week should progress pretty normally. I just got a text message. LSU is open for business this tomorrow, so we're moving in the right direction here in Louisiana. I know the northern part of the state got a little bit worse than the southern part of the state, so hopefully everybody is safe and warm, as I said, and we'll move on as regularly scheduled over the next couple of days. If you're looking for some housekeeping information, our guys Jake, Hester, Matt Flynn are in Mobile for the Senior Bowl all week. They look so much forward to that every single year, so they got things started this morning. And they had Luke Altmaier on this morning, and they had the Saints running back coach, who's the head coach of the American team. He was on with them this morning. They'll have players throughout the week, and certainly will be at practices throughout the week, and they'll have some updates. I think it's a big week for the New Orleans Saints to send their organization over to Mobile to take a look at a lot of these players, and not necessarily to take a look at whoever you're going to take in the top 10 of this draft, because that player sometimes doesn't want to work out at the Senior Bowl and doesn't want to do a ton of stuff at the Combine if you're that high up on a lot of boards. But you're talking second, third, fourth, fifth round picks. The Saints do a great job of scouting the Senior Bowl. They did it for 5 picks last year, and they'll have an opportunity to make that happen again this year. So reports from Mobile all week long on Off the Bench, 7 to 10 every single morning. So appreciate the Senior Bowl for having our station. Appreciate those guys for Hustle and Alondra included to make that all possible all week long. It's some of the best content I think that we do on the station all year long. And they're off and running after one day here at the Senior Bowl, so they're back in action tomorrow from 7 to 10 a.m. We only got one more order of business here. We'll take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
Just take
All right, Hunt, I gotta ask, do you still think it's a coincidence that we got a new Pope and the Seahawks made the Super Bowl?
I completely forgot about that. Some things just defy logic. I talked last week when you made that comparison, which is crazy. The last 3 times we've gotten a new Pope, the Seahawks have made the Super Bowl. That's nuts. It's just like the fact that LSU has played in 4 national title games in the last 23 years, and all of them have been in New Orleans. That's almost a statistical impossibility. Same thing here. It can't be a coincidence. Obviously, would that be God being on the Seahawks side or maybe not? We're talking about losing people here.
Not.
But I guess the people of Seattle are for it. They enjoy that.
It would be a good game. All right, so we have Dabo Swinney accuses Ole Miss of tampering college football transfer portal. Dabo said that Pete Golden offered a $1 million contract to player Luke Farrelly while he was in class at Clemson. He reported to the NCAA and said this is complete hypocrisy by Pete Golden. Does Dabo have a point? Take it or leave it.
I mean, take it. Like, he does have a point. Like, by the letter of the rules, like, you as a head coach should not be texting a player that's enrolled at another school. Like, that's against the rules. However, we know there are no rules. And if you don't go get players, you won't have players.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm not going to get mad at Pete Golding. He is clearly breaking the rules. I'm not going to get mad at Dabo Swinney. He is clearly within his rights. And if the NCAA wants to take these text messages and look at them and issue some sort of penalty, that's perfectly within their right. Do I think they're going to do it? No, because they don't do anything ever. And look, like, guy down the street, I think he's sending some text messages. Yeah. Just a guess. I'm not reporting any facts here. I'm just suggesting it's possible. I think it's likely. It's just the nature of where we are. And if you're going to allow every player to be a free agent every year, this is what you're going to get. Now,
I just think it's funny just because, I mean, Dabo's never used the portal, and he finally does, and there's nothing going his way.
Yeah, well, you gotta get with the times. And Dabo is not. I'm hopeful that his team is not very good next year. They're not ranked in the preseason top 25 because they come here. So that's my hope. But it goes back to my point last week, and I think most people will disagree with me on this, and that's okay. If I were in charge, you could transfer once and not sit out, and that would be it. And I think that would limit some of this nonsense, and I think it's nonsense. But what's the kid supposed to do? You're throwing $1 million more. Like, it was $1 million. He upped it to $2 million. It's $2 million. What's the kid supposed to do? Like, not answer the text? It's a bad system. We have a bad system.
All right, so Shedeur Sanders reportedly added to the NFL Pro Bowl roster for the AFC following his rookie season with the Browns. They said it earlier today.
Okay.
He's replacing Drake May. Sanders threw for 1,400 yards, 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions as a rookie, going 3-4 in his first start. This is just the start for Shedeur Sanders, and to expect more Pro Bowls in the future. Take it or leave it.
I'm going to leave it. But if you're going to let him in, throwing more interceptions and touchdowns, then sure, let him in the Pro Bowl. What is the Pro Bowl? Don't they just like run around cones and like
football.
Throw stuff through
it's not
the nets
anymore.
and stuff?
No.
I mean, yeah, that's absurd. It's about as absurd as when the MLB last year let Jacob Mizorowski on the All-Star team after he had thrown like 100 pitches in the MLB.
Right.
That really made some of the MLB guys cranky. Are there still incentives in contracts for Pro Bowls and stuff? Because that's true, and you're taking a spot from somebody who actually played well this year and giving it to Shedeur, who was on a terrible team with terrible statistics. You're maybe costing somebody some cash here. I don't know that, but that's a little ridiculous. Was there a worse starting quarterback than Shedeur Sanders in the AFC this year?
Sure, they got probably.
Who was playing for the? They had Flacco playing for the Bengals a lot of the year.
Not. A lot of injuries. I mean,
Tua wasn't great.
No, it was not. All right, so last one. Chicago Bulls retired Derrick Rose number 1 jersey after the win Saturday night, becoming the 5th Bulls player in history to have his number retired, joining Jerry Sloan, Bob Love, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen. Rose played 8 seasons with the Bulls after being selected number 1 overall in 2008. He was named 08-09 Rookie of the Year, made 3 All-Star teams, and 2011 became the youngest MVP in NBA history. Is Derrick Rose worthy of having his jersey retired? Take it or leave it.
I'm going to take it. Again, Braxton, I don't know if you know this, but those that listen certainly do. I have a lot of Chicago.
That's what Jordan was telling me earlier.
So I just get a lot of that because I'm a huge Cubs fan. So I follow all these people for Cubs content, and sometimes the Bulls and Bears and Blackhawks and White Sox like leak over. So I kind of keep my finger on their pulse unintentionally because of all the stuff that I have in my feed and in my podcast listening that is Cubs adjacent. At this the top of his game, Derrick Rose was one of the best players in the NBA.
100%.
It just didn't last because he couldn't
Yeah.
stay healthy. And they were a 1 seed with him. He won the MVP. He was a Rookie of the Year. Like, he was as dynamic a point guard as far as athleticism and explosiveness that has ever played the game. Like, it's like him and Russell Westbrook. Like that, he was that good. It didn't last all that long. So what's the metric here?
You brought the Bulls culture back to life after the Jordan era.
I mean,
and
they've got
everything.
nothing going for them outside the Jordan era.
Yeah.
There was nothing before that. There's really been nothing after that except for that one Rose-Noah run that you had LeBron on the other side. So it's just hard to deal with. Yes, I think he's worthy of. The Chicago people love him, and I think that matters. And so I think it's just fine to retire his number. I think it's good. So that's it for Take It or Leave It. Thank you, Braxton, for putting all of that together. Appreciate y'all for being a part of our show here on this Monday. We covered a lot today. Started with the Jordan Seaton news. Big news for LSU. I went through that. You can find that recap at Hunt on LSU. Talked about LSU's basketball loss at Arkansas. Saints, big week in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. We discussed that a little bit. Some LSU baseball news. And speaking of Mobile, huge week for Garrett Nussmeier. I went into that as well. You can find all that on demand wherever you find your sound. We're out of here. Matt's going to drive you home on After Further Review. That's next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
South Louisiana, it's turnaround season, and River Parish Contractors is calling in the best of the best.